Sometimes the most terrifying stories are the ones that unfold in real time. What began as a post to a legal advice subreddit about a possible home invasion soon took a strange turn, leading to unexpected revelations. Revelations that saved the original poster's life. This is the strange story around a Reddit post titled "Post-it Notes Left in My Apartment." In 2015, a Reddit user named rbradbury1920, but we're just going to call him B, turned to a legal advice subreddit with an accounting of strange events that had occurred in their apartment over the last 2 weeks. Their post begins with an unsettling yet seemingly innocuous event: the discovery of a yellow post-it note with unfamiliar handwriting. Their post reads,
"On the 15th of April, I found a yellow post-it note in a handwriting that wasn't mine on my desk, reminding me of some errands I had to do, but told literally nobody about. While odd, I chalked it up to something I did in my sleep, thinking maybe in my half-awake state I scrawled it so it didn't appear to be my handwriting. I threw it out and thought little of it."
Although strange enough to make note of, B essentially disregarded the first note. It's odd that he so easily dismissed this as something he did during his sleep, given how alarm bells should be ringing. Nonetheless, the first incident went down as little more than a blip in their daily radar. The post continued.
"On the 19th, I found another post-it note on the back of my desk chair, in the same handwriting as the previous note, telling me to make sure I saved my documents. I was freaked out, but there were no other signs of a break-in, so I set up a webcam in my house aimed at my desk and used a security cam app for it to record after detecting movement."
Things were beginning to get stranger. B's decision to install a webcam shows that they've abandoned the sleepwalking theory. They knew something weird was going on. The lack of any signs of a break-in made things even more puzzling. B's post continued.
"On the 28th, I woke up to find another post-it note, this one saying, 'Our landlord isn't letting me talk to you, but it's important we do.' I immediately checked the webcams folder on my computer and found nothing from the night before, but my computer's recycling bin had been emptied, which I am certain I did not do recently, indicating someone had noticed the webcam and deleted the files. They were just saved straight to a folder on my desktop called webcam."
The events take a more sinister turn with this third entry. It seemingly highlights two unsettling certainties. 1. Someone had been inside of B's room, leaving notes, deleting the footage, and emptying their recycling bin. 2. Someone is claiming to be restricted from communicating with B due to the landlord's intervention. Again, no signs of forced entry, and no footage of anything happening. None of this made any sense. B couldn't call the police. They had nothing besides a few sticky notes and their own word. The post concluded with this.
"Today, on the 1st of May, I found another post-it note, this time on the outside of my door, with nothing written on it, and there also appeared to be post-its on many other doors in my apartment complex, all blank, in varying colors. Do I have any legal recourse here? I have no proof except for the post-its, but those are written by my pen and on my post-it notes, so conceivably I could have faked them. Would contacting the police get me into any trouble, if they can't determine an outside source for this? I just want to make sure I'm not wasting anyone's time. Should I consult my landlord, those also living in the complex?"
This final entry reveals the discovery of blank sticky notes on B's door, as well as all of their neighbors' doors. This is inconsequential to the story, but another odd occurrence nonetheless. Amidst the growing unease from recent events, B found themselves contemplating the need for legal advice, but doubts linger, due to their lack of solid evidence for anything at all occurring. They were scared but didn't want to get in any trouble with the law, which is why they turned to Reddit in the first place. So what do we know? 1. Over the course of the last 2 weeks, 3 sticky notes with unfamiliar handwriting appeared in B's apartment. 2. Someone was inside of B's apartment, placing those sticky notes and tampering with the files on B's computer. 3. There were never any signs of forced entry or any indication that anyone had been there besides the notes and their files being deleted. And 4. A note mentioned that our landlord isn't letting them talk to B, and sticky notes appeared not only on B's door, but their neighbor's door as well, indicating that the culprit is likely someone from within the complex. These are all great leads, but they don't really paint any kind of cohesive picture of what's going on. It just seems to be apparent that somebody from their apartment complex was getting into B's apartment undetected and leaving notes. The comment section was blowing up with different theories and advice, from saying he's probably sleepwalking to he should call the police regardless. and certain commenters were even claiming that the whole post could be a hoax. And then, an update.
Edit. I pulled up a letter I received from my landlord back when I moved in, and the handwriting is identical. Could this count as evidence?
The unidentified handwriting found on the sticky notes in B's apartment was, in fact, their landlord's. Up until now, B has been grasping for a possible explanation, but this revelation made a few things kind of start to fall into place. Of course, there'd be no signs of forced entry if the intruder had a key. It made sense that the notes were on more than just B's door. Are the other residents dealing with this? Had the landlord been entering more than just B's apartment? The landlord being the one leaving the notes made logical sense, given that his handwriting matched and he had access to the apartment at all times. But a glaring question still remained. Why? The comment section of the thread agreed, unable to make sense of B's story. While some urged them to contact the police, most comments fell into two camps. Those advising them to contact a mental health professional, and those who doubted the story's authenticity altogether.
This reads like something straight out of
Call
our
617-626-8000.
Please see a qualified therapist ASAP.
There are people
Honestly,
who can help.
this is so fake.
The details didn't quite add up. Why would a landlord be breaking in just to leave vague notes around the apartment? Either their landlord is the most unstable, sneaky person alive, B's having a mental health episode, or they're just lying to farm karma. No one in the comments could really figure out what was going on. That is until one user put all of the pieces together.
You seem sincere, and this doesn't appear to be the plot of a Ray Bradbury short story. It's possible that your landlord is leaving notes inside your apartment, but they don't make any sense in the context you're describing them. It's likely that you are writing the notes yourself, but you are forgetting. Do you use post-it notes as reminders in any other parts of your life or job? Yes, this might be a mental health issue. You might be experiencing some sort of dissociative disorder, or it might be a physical problem.
This comment comes from user Kakerlak, who I will refer to as K. See, K has been snooping around on B's page. On Reddit, you can see all of the past comments and post history of any given user by visiting their user page. Earlier in the month, B had been posting in multiple interior design subreddits, asking about how they should orient their furniture in a very small, narrow room, about 3.5 by 10 feet. While B was answering inquiries from comments on this post, they revealed that the bedroom also had no windows. A small, narrow room plus no windows equals really bad airflow in said room. K's comment continued.
You mentioned that you have a very unusual narrow bedroom with no windows. Is there a chance that you are not getting enough ventilation when you sleep, or that there is a carbon monoxide leak in the building? A cheap CO detector, which you should have anyway, is a fast way to find out. You'll also have really bad headaches.
K was of the belief that what was happening to B could be the result of carbon monoxide buildup in their room, causing them to either hallucinate the notes altogether or forget that they had written the notes. Exposure to a low amount of carbon monoxide over a longer period of time can cause memory issues, confusion, paranoia, and personality changes. I specify low amounts because if it was a high amount, B would be dead. B replied to his comment saying,
I have had really bad headaches. And I actually already do have a CO detector. Guess I should probably take that out of its box and plug it in.
B suffering from severe headaches, as well as the fact that they don't currently have a carbon monoxide detector plugged in, reinforces K's theory. B says they will plug it in and give an update to whether or not that was the cause of their problems. Some time goes by and the post gains popularity, although K's comment goes widely unnoticed. The comments were abuzz with debates on whether the posts were genuine, new theories were being floated, and people started to note that B, who was active in the thread before, hadn't replied in a while. Then...
Update. Thanks to everyone who sent suggestions and gave advice on how to proceed, especially to those who recommended a CO detector. Because when I plugged one in the bedroom, it read at 100 ppm. TLDR. I had CO poisoning and thought my landlord was stalking me.
So, there was no intruder. B had carbon monoxide poisoning and was writing himself notes and forgetting, and in their confused state, they believed that it was in their landlord's handwriting. The detector read 100 ppm of carbon monoxide, which, although not immediately fatal, has profound effects on the brain when exposed to this level for weeks. OSHA has a 15-minute exposure limit of 100 to 200 ppm, and B has been living in it for weeks. It's no wonder they were suffering from these delusions. B replied to questions in the comments, shedding some light on the situation. People wanted clarification on the whole situation, one user asking,
"So, you wrote yourself a bunch of post-it notes, and forgot them because of CO poisoning?"
B responded that yes, this is exactly what had happened, and he had also offered up some information regarding the webcam folder.
I also set up a webcam by placing it on a shelf, downloading a camera app to my phone, and making a folder on my desktop called webcam, and made an iPhoto library in the folder.
And in a different reply he said this,
Actually, as it turns out, I never plugged it in. I just put it on a shelf, downloaded a webcam app to my phone, which isn't even compatible with an external webcam, and made a folder on my desktop called webcam, then thought it was deleted when the folder was empty.
So yeah, they absolutely never set up any kind of makeshift webcam security system. B was just delirious. B answered more questions about what they're doing now, saying they're staying with relatives while this is getting sorted out, that their apartment was the only one with carbon monoxide buildup in the complex. And yes, they had already visited the hospital. B says they feel tremendously better already, but they're taking every precaution that they can, as carbon monoxide exposure for as long as they were exposed to can cause serious, long-term neurological damage. B also noted that the handwriting on the notes didn't match the handwriting on the letter from his landlord. In fact, the letter he compared it to was actually from his mom. That's pretty much where this story ends. A Reddit user suspected somebody of sneaking into their apartment to leave cryptic notes, only to discover that they were unknowingly leaving the notes themselves, due to acute carbon monoxide poisoning and a random Reddit user looking through unrelated posts who managed to connect the dots. Really a wild story. B did post one more update 10 months after their original posts. They revealed that they did in fact suffer brain damage from the long-term exposure. They said,
While 4 months ago, things were rough, I've definitely made significant improvement, and currently there's little reason to doubt a full recovery. While brain cells cannot regenerate, the bulk of my issues seem to be the cerebral edema, brain swelling, caused by the poisoning.
B goes on to say that currently they're about 80% back to normal, but there's no reason to believe that they won't be at 99 to 100% in another 6 months. Woo! They also mentioned that although they had been advised to not discuss anything regarding their legal situation online, things, legally speaking, are looking great for them, and they have started using a notebook daily planner now instead of sticky notes. I've always found this little piece of Reddit history fascinating. How someone can post to a legal advice subreddit regarding their landlord breaking into their apartment, and days later end up in the hospital with carbon monoxide poisoning. K's comment almost certainly saved B's life. Don't forget to check and make sure your carbon monoxide detectors are working. Thanks for watching all the way through. I really enjoyed putting this all together. My channel is still super new, and this is my first attempt at a real video, so if you enjoyed and want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel. There will be more content out soon. Thank you.